Every product around you exists because of a plan. Welcome to the Industrial Analyst, where we uncover the strategy behind industry.
You know, every great strategist has a toolkit they rely on to make sense of the world. Well, today, we're going to open that kit right up and show you two incredibly powerful tools that'll help you analyze your business environment and turn all that chaos into a crystal clear strategy.
Think about it. Every business operates inside a much larger ecosystem. It's like being in a storm of forces you just can't control. New tech, shifting customer tastes, crazy new regulations, and the first job of any strategist, it's to learn how to navigate that storm.
So here's the big question, right? When you're facing all of that, how do you possibly steer your company safely and find a clear path to success? It's not about just hoping for good weather, it's about really understanding the storm itself. Well, the answer starts with a process that has a kind of formal name, environmental scanning, but don't let the name fool you. All it really is a systematic way of looking at the world outside your company's walls so you can spot the opportunities to grab and the threats you need to dodge. It's basically your company's navigation system. And to do this scanning really well, we're going to focus on two fantastic tools. I want you to think of them as your telescope for seeing the huge, big picture forces way out on the horizon, and your microscope for examining the competitive battlefield that's right in front of your face.
All right, first things first, let's grab that telescope. We're going to scan the broad horizon using a really handy framework called PESTEL Analysis. PESTEL is all about understanding what's called the macro environment. These are those big, external forces that, let's be honest, your company has zero control over, but you absolutely have to adapt to them. They surround your business and they influence pretty much everything you do.
So what are these forces? Well, PESTEL is just an acronym. It stands for political, like a new trade policy. Economic, think rising inflation. Sociocultural, which is all about changing consumer values. Then you've got technological innovation, environmental concerns, and finally, legal regulations. Okay, this is where the theory gets real. Let's say you're a shipbuilder. A political rumor about new taxes on cruise ships? That's a huge threat. But a sociocultural trend, like an aging population that suddenly wants educational travel? Wow, that's a massive opportunity. And that is PESTEL in action. It's all about connecting those broad, abstract trends to specific decisions you have to make. So, we've used our telescope to see what's on the horizon. Awesome. Now it's time to put that down and pick up the microscope. Let's analyze the immediate competitive battlefield using something called Porter's 5 forces.
This framework, which comes from the legendary strategist Michael Porter, helps us understand the competitive pressures right inside our own industry. So we're not talking about the whole world anymore. Now it's about the specific players on your field. Your rivals, your customers, your suppliers, and any new challengers trying to get in.
Okay, the first and most central force is rivalry. Competition gets really intense when, say, demand is slow, or when it's super easy for customers to just switch brands. That leads to price wars and a ton of advertising. But on the flip side, if it's expensive or a hassle for customers to leave you, that rivalry really cools down. Next up, we have the threat of new entrants. This threat is sky high when it's easy for a new company to just show up and set up shop. But when you have what are called high barriers to entry, things like needing a massive amount of cash to get started or holding key patents, you are way more protected from newcomers.
Then there's the threat of substitutes. And this one is so important because your competitors are not always who you think they are. I mean, look at this. For the sugar industry, a chemical company making artificial sweeteners is a major competitor. Why? Because they both solve the same core customer need, making things sweet.
And finally, you've got the power of your suppliers and your buyers. It's like a constant tug of war. Suppliers have the upper hand when their stuff is in high demand or when you only have a few to choose from. But on the other side, buyers get a lot more power when they can easily switch to a competitor or if, they're huge and you're small. Okay, so we've used our telescope and our microscope. We've done all this analysis. What's the point? What are we trying to figure out? Well, it all comes down to gauging your industry's potential for profit. And this is where it all comes together. Here's the crucial relationship you need to remember. The stronger the combined competitive pressure is from those 5 forces, the lower the industry's potential for profit. Simple as that. An industry where everyone is fighting, new players are flooding in, and customers have all the power, well, that's just not a very attractive place to be, is it? So the recipe for a highly profitable industry starts to become really clear. You want weak rivalry, right?
You want high barriers to keep newcomers out, and you want very few good substitutes for your product. And critically, you want to have the upper hand with both your suppliers and your buyers. These are the golden conditions you're either looking for or trying to create with your strategy.
So what's the big takeaway here? Let's connect all the dots.
It's really this. Building a great strategy isn't about getting lucky, and it's not just about reacting to whatever happens. It's about being proactive. It's about using powerful tools like PESTEL and the 5 forces to systematically understand your environment so you can make smart, informed choices that actually shape your future. And that leaves us with one final thought. I want you to take these tools and apply them. Ask yourself this, right now, what is the single most powerful force, whether it's political, competitive, technological, whatever, shaping your industry? The answer to that question, that's the starting point for your next great strategy.